Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Women's Eye podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Gualandi. Now, on the Women's Eye, we talk with ordinary women and then turn the spotlight on their extraordinary accomplishments and how they are making a difference. Today, I hit the 777 jackpot with the incredible Molly Sheridan. I'll explain all about that in just a second. But first, this episode is brought to you by Casco Financial Group in Phoenix, Arizona. Casco president Catherine Scrivano started her business to help people create the financial strength to achieve their dreams. Now, this is a dream because ultra marathoner Molly Sheridan never met a marathon she didn't want to master. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Stacey. I'm so happy to be here. This is so
So
fun.
great to see you again. Now, we first met 10 years ago here on the Women's Eye, which is shocking to me. And
Right.
yes, back then, you had run over 50 ultra marathons. So I can only imagine how many you've done in the time since. But you're returning today to share your latest unbelievable achievement. Molly completed the World Marathon Challenge, which is 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. How are you here right now? I don't even know.
You know what? It is a race. It's an actual race, the World Marathon Challenge, and they take 60 athletes from around the world. And we get on a plane. We meet in Cape Town, South Africa. And the first marathon on the first day is Antarctica. So we actually go Antarctica is the first day. The second day is Cape Town, South Africa. The third day is Perth, Australia. We fly to Dubai on the fourth day and do a marathon in Dubai. Fifth day is Madrid. Sixth day is Brazil. And the seventh day is Miami. It seems impossible, but I'm here to say it happens.
And you look fantastic.
Thank you. I feel really good. Hey, I'll be honest, I'm a little tired still. It's been 2 weeks, so I'm still getting my energy back, but no issues, no injuries, which was my goal, to finish and just be happy and feel great.
I know it's not like you're running against the clock, but what's fascinating about this too is you set a world record, right?
Yes, I
What
did.
what is that record? I'm not
The
exactly sure.
record is let's see. Instead of saying the oldest female, I'll say the most longest lived female at 68 years old. So no 68-year-old woman has completed that before. So that's pretty interesting. And just to let you know, there was another 68-year-old. So I do share the world record with Lisa Norton, who also completed it, which to me is even more icing on the cake that I'm just not alone. There are a lot of people that are active and out there, and age is really right, just a number. I do not believe that's a big issue as we've seen in the past. People are just doing more longer.
And doing, yeah. And what's so amazing is, if people aren't familiar with you, is that you only just started running 20 years ago. You were 48, right?
Yeah. I was like, 48, 49, just getting ready to turn 50. My girlfriend called me and said, do you want to run a marathon? And I said, no, absolutely not. That sounds awful, And I was like everybody else, super busy. I had 3 kids. And she called me up one night and just said, hey, do you want to do it? And I said, no. I mean, like, what? All I could think about was, doing another job, like what, and she said, no, we'll have fun. We'll have fun running a marathon. And she put fun in the same sentence. So that was the catalyst. I called her back the next day after I hung up and said no, and said, okay, what's the fun part? And she said, oh, we're going to have a girls' weekend. We're going to do this. And I'm thinking, well, what happened is I really thought about the fact that I hadn't done anything. I really hadn't been exercising. I was tired and lethargic. I just felt like I needed something. She kind of pulled me along in this fun notion, and that's really started the ball on the whole, running.
And that was the thing that got you started on this path. But what is it that has kept you at it for 20 years? And this, I mean, I would say the World Marathon Challenge, that has to be the hardest thing, right? I mean, is it
Right. It was
Yeah.
pretty hard.
That
Yeah.
is, I mean, in all of this, in the racing world, or that has to be, is that the pinnacle?
For me, that was the pinnacle. It's funny because when I went to the very first marathon, just to tell you, like, and I kind of got dragged along by a friend. When I finished that at the finish line, my mind expanded because I never looked at myself as an athletic person. And here I am, like 49, 50, getting and thought, wow, I actually completed 26.2 miles. That's so far. And I thought at that point, this is crazy, but I thought, how far can I really go? And I signed up for a 50K after that race I didn't even tell anybody because it was just kind of an outlandish idea, but a 50K is just 6 miles further. So I did the 50K
Yeah.
and
It
I'm
just
out there.
sounds horrible.
Yeah,
Or
but it was,
sounds worse. Yeah.
I found the fun. I was out there just for myself, just to see how far I could go. Then I did a 50-miler. I didn't expect to finish. It was hard, but I kept just making it to the aid stations and I trained. Then I did a 100-mile. Then I signed up to do the 10 toughest foot races on the planet. I looked at a Newsweek article that said, what are the top 10? Number one was Marathon des Sables, the 150-mile race across the Sahara Desert, which I did. And I know that's crazy. And my story's a little bit kind of like out there, but it's really about, like, I'm an average person. I don't think I have any other talents than anybody else, other than the fact that I wanted to go test myself and test human endurance. And I'm here to say, like, we can do so much more. After the Marathon des Sables 150-mile, I signed up for the Badwater race in Death Valley in July. Remember?
Yes. And, cause you
Talked about that.
used to live in Vegas, and I remember that because that one's, I definitely have heard of, cause it just sounds, it just sounds horrible,
It was
but
intense.
yes. And I have to thank you too, because I had done a marathon, like, I don't know, 2005 or six or something. And then I left it, but meeting you 10 years ago, you got me back into running, and I did another marathon and
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved
Yes.
it because there's just something about that accomplishment and setting the goal, right?
Yes. And may I say too, it's not about these distances and crazy ultra marathons. That's kind of my gig. And I just really like that. I wanted to go like far and I wanted to dig deep into that. But with that being said, for your listeners out there, it's really not about like going, it's really just about moving and exercise and just even getting out there and walking in nature and like what that does for you mentally and physically and spiritually. I'm just such a huge proponent on movement. I think it solves so many problems, like your stress and any issue you have, you take it out there. And I think it does wonders for us anyway.
Yeah, if there's one word from this is movement, or
Yes.
just
Yeah.
the motion is lotion, or whatever you want to call
Exactly.
it.
And then the
So
777 came around because I thought I was getting ready to end my ultra running career. Was turning like 60. I always forget how old I am. I have to get a calculator because it
that's
can
good.
never make any sense to me. But anyway, I was
You don't
in,
look it. I'll just say
thanks.
it right there.
So I was like 66 and I'm thinking, okay, I probably should start winding it up and, ending my career. And so I just went to meet friends at this 50-miler like it was a year ago at Tunnel Hill, this 50-mile. And I did like the best 50-miler in my life, only because I went out there and I was just like clicking off the miles going, okay, wait, maybe I'm not done. And then I did this, Tennessee race that it was race of the ages, and you take your age and you run however many hours your age is. And I just
Okay.
peeled off like 120 miles in a weekend thinking, okay, I don't think I'm done. And what is this voice I'm hearing? That you're getting older. It wasn't my voice. It was society's voice. Like, you're
Okay.
getting older, you're thinking, and I do believe that you do have a window of being active doing these big ultras. I do believe, I know that I have a lifespan of like doing this for a certain amount of time. I just felt like, okay, I feel like I have a couple, like this little window left.
Yeah.
I had heard about the 777, 7 marathons, 7 continents in 7 days. And then I found out that the oldest woman to do it was 67 and she was from Singapore. And I thought, I'm turning 68 that month that the race is, and I go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I just got to
She's
get
going to
it
be in your
done.
dust.
Got to take her down."
Yeah. Again, it's not about that.
No, it's not. I'm just laughing that it's like so not me. But you know what? I thought, you know what? I really like to go see how far I can go. Like I've always do my thing out there, which is always my own thing. I don't compare myself to anybody else. I have a pace that I like,
Yeah.
that feels good to me. There is so many elite runners in this race that, oh my gosh, it's so inspiring to me personally. These people that can go really, really fast days on end. I know that wasn't my goal. It was really to finish.
It's finished. And that's, yeah,
Yeah, and
I
comfortably
understand
and
that.
being healthy. That was it. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really to the adventure of a lifetime. It really changed my life. That whole experience was incredible.
How, did it change you from, in terms of you've been doing this, but how was this particular event something that you give credit to changing your life?
I'm going to just go personal here because what happened to me out there, like with this group of really amazing runners, you get really close to people on the plane, and it was really tough and challenging. First of all, because when you're on the plane, you have to take all your suitcases and luggage off the plane every time you land because we go through customs. So you're not only running a race, you're working out before, dragging all your luggage, getting on the bus, going and running a marathon. You're not done after the marathon. You hop on a bus, you grab all your luggage, you get all the stuff back to the plane. It's just a nonstop. You're not just running a marathon. It was just a lot. And during that time, and on those out there running on those, waking up every morning out on a different continent, I really had time to reflect on my career and what I've done. And this is true. I've always felt like I'm an average person. And I felt like a lot of times I felt, this is going to sound weird, but kind of like I'm a imposter runner. Like just because I'm out there meditating and doing my thing, I'm not I'm not a front runner. But out there this time doing that with the challenges, being where I'm at, I realized, oh my gosh, I need to really stand in the place and really embrace what I have done. And knowing that is my gift, and it's meaningful and purposeful. And I really had to stand in that and accept, holy hell,
Yeah.
I'm doing amazing things here. And I think that should be embraced by me. And that's what happened. I know that sounds weird, but it took a long time for me to realize, wow, you know what? I'm really I'm proud of my body. Like my body has been amazing. And I do listen to it. I pay attention, I feed it, but it's just been a gift. And I just accepted all that. It just was a great feeling.
And it was something you didn't feel that necessarily up until this, or you were like,
Right.
yeah, I'm accomplished. You
Yeah.
have all these, goals achieved. That's, I think that's really like you're just giving yourself like that perpetual
Yes.
hug, you know?
Yeah. And also realizing, so many people reached out to me this time, even more so than before, saying, hey, you really inspired me and you really helped me to just take the next step to go do my own journey about walking and running for health and fitness. And to me, that's the biggest takeaway, is like because there's people I always watch that inspire me. There's people I follow that I need to get that positive from that. And if I'm doing that for others, that's just a gift as well. And I hope that helps, because I do think it really comes down to everybody's got their gifts, like whatever they're doing, like running, hiking, kayaking, moving. Like you have the ability to go out there and really do something amazing. That's why I
Excel.
think
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
races are great. It's a 5K, 10K. You can go prove yourself, and you can go help yourself move to those places that help your mind. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I'm getting off the track, but I just
I
believe.
think that's, and I think that something like this will get you attention, but also that attention will inspire somebody, who
Yes.
might just need that little that little push or that little message from
Exactly. If
you,
I'm
you know?
68 years old doing that, like, look at the possibilities for anybody
I
younger
know.
than me.
But it's interesting because I'm going to be 60 and I was telling you beforehand, like my knee, my back, my ankle, all this stuff's like I can't run anymore, so now I'm swimming or, whatever I
Yeah,
can do and walking and stuff. But
right.
yeah, your body, you must just be built for this, right? And obviously training properly. But yeah, how is it that you think your body is still doing this at 68? Because 68 is the new 38, right?
Yeah.
And then and just did you have any obstacles leading up
Oh my
to
gosh, I have a
this?
page of obstacles. I'm
Really?
writing a
Okay.
book about the obstacles it took to even get to the start line. It's kind of crazy. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, I don't easily just get to the start line. And I always feel like if you get to the start line, you win, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things, so
Yeah.
many
Interesting though,
obstacles.
because this
Yeah,
this was the book you wrote, Running Past Midnight, many
right.
years ago. Are you? Yeah, because will you write a book about this?
I am. I'm going to write a book because everybody thinks, oh, you kind of glide through these things, but you don't on anything that's this big. It's, and there's two things. One is that you're going to have obstacles. They're going to come your way and you just be prepared to keep moving through them. They're in front of you. Like, what do you have to do to get past it? And I made a list as I went. It was just like almost comical, like how big they were, even up until the end. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to go. I mean,
Really? What
yeah.
was it? Just like a physical thing or
Well,
a
I'll just
injury?
tell you
Or
briefly. I had the last month, I had a really strange pain in my side, like a sword was through my side. And I went to the doctors. They did CT scans. Nobody can find anything. Now, it never hurt when I ran. It was only in the middle of the night I would wake up with this terrible pain. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what the heck? I got misdiagnosed. They thought it was a abdominal, but there was no abdominal. I was just like on and on. And here is the gap going to where I'm down to like 2 weeks. I'm leaving in 2 weeks with this weird pain. So then I went to this great doctor. I'm going to mention him, Dr. Emil Anabi. And he looked at it and he said, you have a pinched nerve. Like, you've got a
oh,
pinched nerve. And he goes, you have a little arthritis in your back. That nerve is pinching. That is where all the pain, and the pain was like debilitating. I can run with a certain amount of pain, but the pain got so bad I could not run. Like, it's a 9 or 10. So
oh gosh.
this guy was so great. Because I went to him, and in my book, Running Past Midnight, that first doctor way back when, I don't know
Oh,
if you remember, I had my foot, and he went and he said, oh, you're too old to be running.
old. Yeah.
Pick a different sport. That was when I was 50. And I was totally prepared to go to another doctor and explain myself. I'm 68, I'm trying to run. And instead, I told him, look, I have the biggest race of my life, the 777. It is like in 10 days. And he goes, we have to get you to the finish line. He didn't,
Wow.
it was like, where'd this guy come from?
Yes.
Seriously. He's going, okay,
I'm gonna get his number from you.
oh, I'm not kidding. I can't tell you enough. I almost wanted to just cry in his office. So he figured out this plan. I went through a lot. Like 2 days before I left on the plane to fly 14 hours, I had to have an ablation where they put little holes and have to fix it. He goes, the only way you're going to be able to run is if we fix it now. I go, I'm leaving in 2 days. So
Oh
this
my
guy
God.
fixes it. I hop on the plane. This is just one of the obstacles. And honestly, I do believe I had a piece of paper that I started out with in March that had my intentions that I wanted to put into my subconscious. And then my intentions were to cross the finish line in Antarctica, to cross
Yeah.
the finish line in Cape Town, and every morning I read my intentions to cross the finish line in Madrid, I wanted this so bad this year. I never missed a day with saying what my intentions were. This isn't wishful thinking.
Yeah.
This is putting into my subconscious how I want my body to react to get to that finish line. And even when I was at a 9 or 10 pain on the floor sobbing, I got that piece of paper. I am crossing the finish line in Antarctica.
Wow.
Even though I didn't know if it was going to happen, I am in it until I no longer can be able to do it. Right? You have to keep going until there is a solution or there's
Yeah.
an end to your journey for whatever reason, and you know that you cannot continue.
Yep.
And I think
Until you
it was,
exhaust all,
yes,
options. Yeah.
yes. And this guy stepped in. I do believe angels pop into your life that help you get to the next point. I had a lot of angels. Dr. Kaz Williams, my wonderful coach. I am a coach, but I needed a coach to be accountable to. And she, again, really helped. She's a sports psychologist.
Yeah.
She like really helped with your mindset. Where are you at? Like to try to get something that's so big that you can easily scare yourself and say, oh my God, this is never going to happen, blah, 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 blah. No negative. You
Yeah.
just can't put it in there. You don't have
It
time
just,
for it. You have to have the laser focus. And boy, it pays off.
you,
It does.
you just, it's, I mean, definitely it's like a metaphor, like always looking at that finish line,
Yeah.
to get to
Yeah.
that. But
No matter how bad it gets, it's like, all right, it's not over till it's over. And I think that helped me. And also when I was out there running after everything I'd been through, and there's more. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to tell you the obstacles all year, just like
I'll
kept
buy the
coming
book.
up. Yes. And so when I was out there realizing, you know what? Hey, and to embrace what my accomplishment was and to realize, you know what? You know, it was just a wonderful feeling to take that and to sit with it. And I'm still processing it.
Oh, I can't
I'm
even
still
imagine.
trying
Yeah.
to process like how
I'm
big
trying to
that.
process it for you.
I
But
know.
it's like, wow. I mean, the ultimate, triptych, what you went.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about too, your intention, you weren't just running for yourself though. You
Right.
were running for, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. It's a charity, but Swatalim.
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 Swatalim. Yeah, I actually had three charities, Surewave,
Oh,
Swatalim, and then 261 Fearless. It was great because when people want to be part of it and they give to a charity, they're a little bit more of the team. People feel like they're participating, you're helping a charity. So
yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah,
like you
we
don't want
raised.
to you don't want to let yourself down, but you also you really don't want to let them down, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
also to bring awareness to what they do and let people know, just the awareness and the funds. It was just really great. Swatalim, that they are take care of about 30,000 underprivileged girls in India. And
Oh,
I've been to India 5 times. It's like my second home. I really love it there. And
wow.
it's
I didn't
really
know
close.
that.
Yeah, yeah, really close to my heart.
But
So
also like seeing videos of these young girls, like they're out there running,
yes, they have a running
and
program. Yeah, it's really so cool, giving them self-confidence, helping them with their own, physical abilities and making them aware of like what they can do. There's no limits. It's a wonderful program. So that was really great. I think we raised close to $70,000 from that.
oh, that's fantastic.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, yeah,
high-fiving you.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just kind of fire some questions at you and
Oh
just
yeah.
see
Okay.
like, okay, so you're the best country to run that,
I loved Antarctica.
see, that would have been my favorite because it's like cold and layers, you know what I mean, and
Well,
running on
it
snow.
wasn't just cold. It was freezing. It was freezing. Let me just tell you something magical that happened in Antarctica. Me and Lori Copeland, one of the other runners, we were like the last ones out there. All these guys are like speeding through. They
How many
went
hours roughly per marathon for you?
for me about 6.5 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And the elites, it's 3 or 4. Those guys are just so
Yeah.
inspired. I'm
They're
taking my time. I'm doing my Molly meditation, just like I do the same rate and just get it done. It was good.
yeah.
Anyway, so we were out there and in Antarctica, the sun, it doesn't set because it's summer there. So it's up there. And then when it does kind of go down, it was getting dark. It just goes to the horizon and just sits on the horizon.
Yeah.
Everybody has finished up. We're like the last ones. We have like 2 miles left. The sun hits the horizon and the rays of the sun go across the ice and made these it looked like little golden poppies on the top of the ice, like these little crystals. Like I look at her and we go, are we tripping? It's like running through golden poppies in Antarctica. We laughed and laughed.
I think that's called the runner's high. I don't
I
know.
know.
I'm not
It was crazy. No, it was happening. It was all golden. We were
sure.
just going, okay, that's like a benefit for being out here longer. Like this was like, it was magical. It was just a
Uh,
beautiful, beautiful place.
well, let's go with the opposite of freezing cold. I
Oh
think
yeah,
my
Brazil.
Brazil. How was
Yeah.
Brazil?
Brazil was brutal. It was almost 100 degrees.
Was
There's no
that the worst
shade.
of the seven, would you say? Or
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Everybody was, everybody was hurting out there on that one. It was brutal. 100% humidity.
Ugh.
It was so hot that there was no escape. I don't care how much suntan lotion you have. It is like burning your skin. It was just absolutely brutal. I had an ice bandana on, ice in my hat, ice in my arm sleeves, just everybody's dousing themselves. It was just, just endure it until we get it over. And in the middle of the day,
Ugh. Ugh.
yeah,
What were they thinking?
it was just,
Well,
yeah, it was, you had to really go find your mental grit in that one to just make it happen.
just to keep
Yeah,
going, because
it was a
that was the yeah,
punisher.
because you ended in Miami. So of
Yeah,
all the seven, what was the easiest?
there was no easy
No
marathon.
easy
Sorry to tell you. One of the ones I really enjoyed that seemed effortless for me was Perth because we did it
in
in the middle of the
Australia.
night.
Yep.
Perth, it's summer there. So during the day, super hot. It was like 100, but we ran from like, I can't remember, 10 o'clock at night till 4 in the morning.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
it was really beautiful along a lake and it was warm, but it was just kind of lovely, so that was kind of like, I'd like to go back there because I really didn't get to see Perth.
See,
We're
and
running
a very
yeah.
good friend of mine is from there too, so I'll have to tell him. But it's kind of I was sort of the only thing that comes close is I ran the Las Vegas Marathon at night, but that doesn't really compare.
Yeah, I think that would
So
be fun. You'd get more light.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So I guess how much any jet lag?
Um,
Because you're
I
literally, yeah, you hop on a plane to the next and you're cutting all these time zones and oh my goodness.
I think you know what? It doesn't even count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're
Did you
so
sleep?
tired
Yeah,
when
do
you
you
get
sleep?
back to, yeah, when you get back to the plane. The seats did go flat in the airline, which is nice. We all could go, put the seats flat. So
Yeah.
you're just so tired, you just crash out.
Oh my
So
gosh.
jet
And
lag, I don't know.
is this a race that takes place every year?
Yes,
It
since
does.
2015, yes. The
Oh
World
my,
Marathon Challenge, yeah.
it's
Those
amazing.
race directors too, I'll say Run Buck is the organization that puts it on. They care so much about all of us. They were excellent. As a race director for 17 years, they were exceptional. I don't know how you can get 60 people through customs in a country, and then you have another marathon group putting the marathon course together, and then you grab everybody and you feed them and you get them back, and we get
Just
to,
the logistics alone,
oh,
right?
it's just, it was like a military operation. Absolutely, hats off. They did an excellent job, really.
Yeah, it looked so impressive. But and then
Right.
I'm just curious, as you said you're still processing, but as you're reflecting, was there like one hilarious or one outstanding moment besides the poppies, maybe? Like, I don't know, that's just always gonna just sit with you, you know?
Well, I don't, there was so many. I mean, um, I think, there, I use humor a lot for stress, because sometimes you're just in a stressful situation. Like when we're on the plane, we got to get dressed on the plane before we get off the plane because we're going to start running, and Lori, I'll talk about Lori Copeland across the aisle from me, we're like so brain dead. We're so tired. We're like 4 marathons in and we're looking through our bags. It's dark. We're trying to get ready to get our bags, and we just look at each other and we go, like, what country are we going to?
It's like, where
Which
are
one
we?
is it? And we started laughing and we couldn't stop. I was like in hysteria. We have tears running down ourselves. We're in the aisle. People
I
are
think
sleeping.
that's like the third phase into sleep deprivation. I could
Yeah,
be
it was just
wrong,
like
but
losing it, going, oh, like how crazy. It was like, it was crazy fun. It
yeah.
was crazy exciting. It was like, it was just off the top, like out of this world, like stepping off into like Dubai. I mean,
Yeah.
Dubai was interesting. They took all our passports and didn't give them back. And it's like, this is interesting. Yeah.
Oh my
That was an
gosh.
interesting country. Just like, all the things that are happening. I mean, there was just so much. It was
Oh,
just, I mean, I know there was more funny stuff.
I just can't wait to read all about this too. But, and I got to say, probably, one of the most touching moments of there's video of you um, literally crossing the final finish line in Miami with your kids.
My kids are adorable, and I
Yeah.
did not expect them to come to the finish line. They're all
Oh,
busy, they're working, I didn't know if I was going to make it. How disappointing if I didn't make it and they show. So, but they did. They got their tickets. They go, Mom, we're just going to be there. And this is powerful because I was really struggling at the 20-mile mark of Miami. I
okay.
had a really, I don't know what happened, but uh, my, my back got stiff. I was just so stiff, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time moving. And I got so frustrated. I sat down and just sobbed, and my kids are all there. And my girls are like so stoked because they've crewed me at other events. They all know I've been through this so many times, and they go, Mom,
Yeah.
yeah, you got 6 miles. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Come on, Mom, 6 more miles. And they each took turns taking me out, like, because it was a loop course.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like, it was so lovely. It was so meaningful to me to have their support and kind of regroup and go, you know what, I'm okay. I'm gonna make it. But I just like panicked at 20 miles going, after all this, is there a possibility I can't make it? Like freak out. And their calm, wonderful presence was just a joy. They are
It's
just
just
a joy.
what you needed just to finish that.
Yes, just all of it. It was just like just a wonderful. And then as you saw, they all just wrapped their arms around me, and we all walked in together. I was kind of like leaning. I was just like, I
Oh,
looked like a mess when I crossed that finish line. But after I got a good night's sleep that night, everything was fine.
yeah.
It just looked kind of like, that was a lot. It was 184 point some odd miles in 7 days. And it was just like, all right, I'm like done.
It's unbelievable. What
Yeah.
kind of feedback have you gotten from friends, family, even strangers
Yeah,
since you
people are
completed?
astounded. They didn't know that's possible, and how can you even do that? And it's like a little bit mind-boggling, but humans can do that. You
Yeah.
can do that safely. We can do so much more. 184 miles in a week seems crazy on 7 continents. But when you think about it, and I'm 68, I mean, think about breaking that down into your own life. Like, what are you capable of? What do you want to be doing? What can you do in your own life? I think it says so much about humans, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not any different than anybody. I really do believe that, except for the fact that I want to do that. But I just think it just is a powerful, and also about age.
Yeah.
Let's face it, it's really it is a number. We can do so much up until we can't, right?
Yes.
What is that? Nobody kind of knows. So it's nice to have that world record. That to me means a lot, because I just push the envelope a little bit more for somebody. And I know next year that will be broken. There'll be another
Because
person.
of you, don't you
Yes,
think? Yeah.
good. Absolutely. Hey, bring
Yeah.
it, let the 69 and 70-year-olds like go for it, because it's doable. So
Yeah.
that's just special. I'm super proud about that.
Yeah.
I'm really proud that that's, just making people think a little bit outside of what we think reality is.
Well, I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and it's like when I realized a couple days before you were doing it, it's like, God, I wish I could be there with you to do it.
I know.
Yeah, but
So
it's
cool.
just the whole thing is just amazing. You are you're my shiro.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I think you're adorable. I always love
Oh,
chatting with you. You're one of my favorite people.
oh no, this is so great. And you know what? I feel like this talking with you is coming at a really good time in my life, because where, you start to the age thing and all that
Yep.
stuff. And I think,
60 is a big, did you say you're gonna see?
yeah, I'll be
No,
60. So I feel like this is a good slap in my face,
it's really good because the 60s are magical. I think
Okay.
you have all that mental power of everything you've learned in your life. It's like, it's powerful. You have so many answers that people don't have in the younger years, that experience, what that brings to your life. It's like, yeah, embrace that because it's big and you can do anything with it.
Absolutely.
So
No,
there.
I think you are so right. And again, I can't wait. In the meantime, while we wait for her book, running past midnight. It's so good. It's so inspirational. But
Thank you.
Molly, thank you so much for doing this. And obviously, if anybody wants to learn more about Molly, you can follow her on social and also right here on thewomenseye.com. You will learn all about her. And of course, speaking of books, you can check out our books, 20 Women Change Makers. Just go wherever you buy books and changemakersbook.com. And of course, 20 women storytellers at womenstorytellersbook.com. Now, don't forget, you can subscribe to our newsletter and YouTube channel. And again, thank you, Molly. I didn't ask, are you done or are you signed up for another race?
You know what? I told myself when I finished this, I was going to sit with it and appreciate it and process it before I did anything else. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still sitting with it, processing, and I'll let you know. You'll be the
Yep.
first to know.
You're doing this podcast with your feet up.
Almost.
So, well, maybe we can get together again in person and maybe go for a walk. So,
Absolutely. I'm all in.
oh,
Thanks,
sounds great.
Stacey.
Thanks for joining me today, everybody. I'm Stacey Gualandi. We hope you'll meet us back here again soon on the Women's Eye podcast. Just remember, it's the world as we see it.